Everybody, it is the Essence. I hope you're having a great day, and today I'm going to be doing another breakdown of a player from the 2026 draft class, and that is going to be Karim Lopez, 6'8", 200 and some change wing from Mexico originally, but he plays out in New Zealand for the New Zealand Breakers, and he is an absolutely elite defensive prospect. His length, strength, and athleticism is really off the charts, and I feel like just based off of his defensive potential, when the 2026 draft comes around, he's going to be a top 10 pick. He is just absolutely elite defensively, and he has all the tools that would really make him an absolutely elite defender at the NBA level. Like, I feel like his potential is damn near limitless in on that side of the ball. Like, I would compare him to Herb Jones when he was at Alabama, with just how transcendent he is defensively and how much potential he offers as just a lockdown defender in the NBA. The offense is a little bit of a question right now. He's not the most skilled player, but he definitely can make things happen. You'll see throughout this video that he is definitely playable on the offensive end. That is going to be the biggest question for him, though. I feel like defensively he'll be great the moment he comes into the NBA, but the offense is the biggest question for Karim Lopez. But with that being said, let's get right into this video with a really good clip to start. He's going to be guarding Montrezl Harrell in this first clip, and he really holds his own against a really bruising center who played in the NBA for quite a while, was a former Sixth Man of the Year, and just watch him at 17 just be able to wall up against Montrezl here and just swallow up his shot at the rim. That is really impressive from such a young player to just absorb that contact and block that shot. He's guarding a grown-ass man there, and it doesn't even really look like he's any younger or like less strong than Montrezl is, even though he's probably 10 years younger than Montrezl, maybe even more than that. And he holds his own, which is just an absolutely elite clip to start with, showing that he can really bang with those bigger big men. He's a very switchable defender too, as you'll see throughout this video. He gets out on guards, he gets out on wings, and right there locks up a big man. So very versatile defender. That is really where he hangs his hat, and he's also really good off the ball too. He's a great slide over rim protector. You're going to see that right here, coming over for this guard coming off that screen, coming downhill, and he's going to be very smart with his anticipation to jump up right as this guard goes into the air and just swallow up that shot at the rim. Just really good instincts right there, reading that guard is going to jump and then just going up with them, swallowing up that shot. You're seeing the length and the athleticism right there, and also the feel, being able to read when that guard's going to be going up and blocking that shot. Got some more defensive clips. That's mostly what we're going to be starting with. Really good recognition right here to see his man over here get totally blown by. He's in the opposite corner, but sees this and instantly sprints over to help. If he doesn't come over, I don't know, maybe this guy comes over and gets this block, but it's still really good recognition that he is able to see that. And even though he does fully abandon his man, he is the defensive playmaker. I don't really have issues with him gambling like this, because most of the time when he gambles like this, it ends up with plays like this where he just goes up, swallows that shot at the rim, pins it on the glass. Like, that is really where he is an absolutely elite off-ball defender. He gets over so fast, and then these guards, they always think that they can, get the ball up high enough off the glass to avoid him, and they never can. Like, he always gets over and smacks their shit off the glass. Like, he is an absolute elite off-ball rim protector, and it's just another thing he provides defensively to his versatility. Like, there's damn near nothing on the defensive end that Karim Lopez can't give you. Like, he's going to protect the rim, he's going to switch, he's going to communicate, he's gonna guard the best player, whether that's a wing guard or big man. Like, he's really going to do about everything you need him to do, and that's why I feel like he's such an elite defensive prospect. He really can do about everything on that end. Another clip of him just moving his feet with a guard right there. I just really like this. He kind of gets beat a little bit right here, but then slides back in front to defend this guy, sees the spin move coming, moves with him, doesn't foul, keeps his hands up, reads that this offensive players trying to go for a little scoop lay and just uses his length to completely block that shot. Really just not a good decision right there from that player. He is too long for you to try those stretch out finishes. He's always going to get his arms there. I don't know exactly how long his wingspan is, but from the looks of what I've seen from him, it definitely is a plus wingspan. He really stretches out very well and blocks shots. He uses that on the offensive end to get better angles for layups as well, but defensively, you really see his arm length really make a difference a lot. Like there's a lot of times, or I said earlier in this video, where people think that they have an angle to get a layup around him and he just completely shuts it off, and you see that in that clip as well. This is a crazy clip. He on the fast break here is in the paint. This guy gets the ball, is setting up his shot. He thinks, oh, Karim Lopez is in the paint. I got time to, square up, take this jumper. You do not. He's going to run all the way over. His speed is also insane. He's super fast. And he's just going to close out, block this shot. Like, that is crazy to come from all the way in the paint right here to get out to this shooter. In like, at this point, look at the space between the two. The shooter really feels that he has an opening here. He's in rhythm. He's like, yeah, I'm going to get this shot off. Not with Karim Lopez. He's too long. He's too fast. He's going to block your shot. He's really got a great motor too, as you saw in that clip. You cannot take your time against Karim Lopez. If you get an opening, you got to take that shot if he's defending you, because he will close out to you so fast. And even if you try to drive off of that, he's super disciplined and great at not fully extending out or jumping at a pump fake and then just staying low, staying engaged as a defender. You really need to take the space he gives you if you're on offense, because his defensive tools are just too overwhelming most of the time. Like, you really can't be doing what that shooter did and take your time, because that's what's going to happen to you, man. You're going to get blocked. He's going to get over there and block you. Another clip of him just closing out, moving with this offensive player. Great. This is a perfect clip demonstrating what I just talked about, how he's a really good at closing out, but then not jumping or committing a blocking foul, just moving with an offensive player off of a pump fake. And then when they drive, he's really good at that. Here he switches out to this guy on the wing, does not jump at anything. He does scoot a little bit too far to the right, which gives this guy an angle to drive, but he's able to close that space, wall up, move with him, not foul, read him all the way to the rim, then read where the layup's going to be at, use his length to just swat another shot off the glass. This is just where he is going to be an issue for offensive players in the NBA, because they're not really going to be able to get those usual pump fake, then I'm going to drive to the rim, get myself a layup against Karim Lopez. It's not going to happen. He's really going to track you to the rim. He almost leads people to the rim, which some might see as an issue. Like Matisse Thybulle did that a lot, and it worked for him. It can make it difficult for your teammates off ball, who now have to come in because there's a lane to the rim. But he is so elite at tracking these guys, and then when they get to the rim, it's over. He's going to jump up, use his length, block that shot. Here again, he after the block closes out to this guy. You couldn't see it in that clip, but he gets out to that shot and stops it, just showing how fast he is and how rangy of a defender he is. Even at his size, he can really burst in short space and get out, then recover, get low, get in a defensive stance, and just track you to the rim, block your shot. It really is elite defensive stuff. Another clip right here of him defending this screen. He gets switched onto the roller, and again, he's going to track this roller all the way to the rim, wait till they jump, block that shot. He's so disciplined, by the way. He never really bites at pump fakes. He's always going to go up when you go up. He has very good discipline of watching the feet of the offensive player and reading when they're about to go up and just timing that jump perfectly. You see that there as well. Just really great defensive instincts. This is another great clip of him just meeting somebody at the rim trying to dunk on him. That's not going to happen. He's too long. He's too athletic. He's too strong. Like you see, he absorbs all this contact. This offensive player probably thought when they jumped that jumping into him would get them closer to the rim, but because of how solid Kareem Lopez is, that's one of my favorite things about him defensively. A lot of these defensive prospects, they're really skinny but long. He's both. He's strong and long at the same time, and it really makes him about 10 times harder to get buckets on in situations like this where he's just not going to let you bully him at the apex of your jump, and he's just going to swat your shot right there. Really great clip from him defensively, just protecting the rim, which is something that as a wing he does exceptionally well. This is a great clip of him just locking up Bryce Sensabaugh right here. I love this clip. This is probably my favorite of his defensive clips because it shows him playing against an actual NBA creator right here in Bryce Sensabaugh, who's a player I really like a lot. Shout out Paulo Escobar. He was really high on him. I think he's really good. I think Bryce Sensabaugh has a future in the NBA for sure. I think he's going to be great this next year. But he locks up right here. He goes to the screen, stays high at the level, recovers back to the right side, walls up right here, which causes Bryce Sensabaugh to lose his dribble because he reaches in. I think he might tip this a little bit. Yeah, he slides over. With this inside arm, he gets his hand on the ball, makes Bryce Sensabaugh lose his handle, then recovers back into the play, walls up again right where Bryce Sensabaugh is trying to drive. He like perfectly predicts him and then ends up ripping him right here again, ends up with a steal, and then he gets pushed to the ground. Like that is an absolutely elite defensive rep. Okay, that is what that looks like. He completely shuts off every angle that Bryce Sensabaugh wants to get to. The right side, nope, I'm poking that dribble out. Then you get back, you're trying to go left now, I'm going to wall up, get right in your lane, and then I'm going to just take the ball from you. That is what he offers. More than the off-ball stuff is great, like him in the gaps and him protecting the rim and him doing all that other stuff. He can absolutely do it, and he's great at it, but it's this that I'm the most excited about for Karim Lopez is him just one-on-one against creators. I feel like it's going to be so hard for them to get shots off on him, especially once he gets even older, more experienced. He can get bigger and stronger. I think he will. He's going to be so fucking hard to get shots off on as an offensive creator. I really feel like he could be an all defensive type player. He just makes it so difficult to really like create rim pressure or get a good shot off. He is an absolute just nightmare matchup for any creator. Like this is the last guy you want to see in front of you. I would almost say he's going to be like similar to the way Amen Thompson is in the NBA, that he's just one of the toughest players to get a bucket on. He's going to be an absolutely elite defender in isolation. That is where I feel like he projects the highest. Kind of like how Herb Jones is just a guy that when you put him on the other team's best player, their lead creator, that player's probably not going to have the best game. And that is an elite skill to have. We got more defensive shit right here. Just getting a steal right there. Quick hands. Gets out. Dunks on the break right there. Just, yeah, good hands right there. Just picking that ball handler off as they tried to go for a little tween. Just reads it perfectly. Quick hands. Is not afraid at 6'8" to be all the way up on a small guard like this is usually not a good thing, but Karim Lopez moves like a guard on the defensive end. He is so fluid, and that just causes him to be able to rip this guy right here, get an open dunk. And then this next clip is absolutely insane. He completely yams on this guy. Just defending at the level again. He's going to switch onto this screen, which this player was not ready for, so he ends up just losing the ball. And then, this is crazy. This guy tries to go up. Hey, oh my God. That is one of the most deadly dunks I've seen in a while. Holy shit. And I know this was like FIBA, I'm pretty sure. But in the competition isn't the best in those type of games, but this is just insane athleticism, as you can see right there, and strength to absorb all of this contact. This guy jumps with him pretty well. Like most of the time this would be, a decent contest at the rim, but off one foot he just flies through the air, stretches out, and dunks on this guy's head. Like this, oh my God, that is showing the vertical athleticism. This guy gets off the ground crazy and can detonate at the rim. Like, holy shit. As a play finisher, he has all the tools. Like, he's going to be a lob threat. He's going to be a guy you can dump down to and hit on cuts. Like, he has absolutely elite explosiveness at the rim, as you saw right there. That guy just got put on a poster. Let's get to the shooting, though. This is a huge decider of how valuable he could be. Because if this guy could just be at least decent at hitting threes, he would be on the floors all the time. Like he would be such a valuable piece, a guy who was never a negative on the defensive end, no pretty much no matter his matchup, and can stretch the floor. That would be one of the most valuable players in the NBA. One of the most valuable archetypes of any player is someone that can do that. And the jumper, it's not perfect mechanic wise. I mean, not everybody is really. The jumper's a little wonky. I will say that's the first thing I'm gonna say. It looks good in this clip, but I've seen a lot of clips of him shooting jumpers. And yeah, it's a little wonky. I 100% believe that's going to improve. He's not a bad shooter by any means. Like he can shoot, he takes threes, he makes threes. He has to have his feet set. He's not going to be a movement shooter, I don't really think at the moment. Like he really has to be set. His feet have to be um there cannot be any movement. He needs to be fully placid before he takes a jump shot, which isn't, I mean, for a 6'8" athlete like himself, that's not a bad thing. Like, I don't really expect you to be flying off screens and hitting threes, but it just shows that, his shot creation behind the arc doesn't have the highest ceiling right now. Because, yeah, off the dribble and movement shooting, not really in his bag, but he can hit these threes like right here. Just faces up real quick, sets his feet, and he can hit these threes. You see the form; it looks good in this clip. It definitely looks good in this clip. But there's other clips where it looks really wonky. He'll like bank in threes that he obviously doesn't mean to bank in. But again, really good reset right here. Like this is good. This is a good sign right here where he can jab step and then pull into his jumper right here. You see pretty solid base, and then the release is good. It's just the jumper can look inconsistent, and he can't really pull it off movement really that well. Like here he's running off a screen, and he's just lucky that his defender just kind of falls asleep over there, and you see he gets the ball and he has to fully set his feet before he can really get that jumper off. He is so tall that it doesn't matter that much, but you see like this guy doesn't even really close out on him. He's not a shooter, not really known for being a shooter, but he takes threes, he makes them every now and again. So he shows a decent potential to maybe eventually be a guy that can space the floor, and if he can, it will just make him 10 times more valuable. If not, I mean, he still can be around the rim like four that can do some stuff on the perimeter. Like he's not an awful ball handler or decision maker, but yeah, the perimeter scoring is definitely a weakness. The overall shot creation is as well. He's going to be a play finisher in the NBA. I 100% believe that. Like I don't really ever see this guy becoming a guy that you put the ball in his hands, and try to get a bucket out of that. He's gonna be playing off people, but he can do stuff like this, like coming off a screen right here. This is really good to see. Rising up in the mid range right here, contested as well. Greens that. This is one of the clips where I feel like the jumper looks weird. Like, see, this jumper doesn't look like this jumper. Like this jumper and this jumper are not the same jumper. That's not a great sign. I know it's a mid-range jumper and he's pulling off movement, but it looks a little wonky right here. The release is faster than he wants it to be. You can tell like he didn't really need to shoot that fast. You're taller than that defender and you have the space to take your time, but he makes it, That's all you can hope for. His touch is pretty good too. So I'm not saying, again, not saying he's never going to be able to shoot, but definitely limited as a shooter at the moment. Now we're going to get into some overall scoring stuff right here. I like this a lot where he gets through this gap with this little hop step, goes to the rim, finishes with the right hand right there, showing pretty good touch and creation ability right there with that little behind the back and sweeps through, gets to the rim. He's great at using his body to shield off defenders, as you'll see right here, bumping into this guy, driving down low, and then using his arm to shield off the defender's hand, getting himself a layup right there. And he's really good at catching and then ripping through and getting to the rim. Like when he gets to the rim, he's very hard to stop. As you see here, pump fakes, rips through, gets a lane to the rim. This guy's gonna step up, and it's really not gonna matter. He builds up so much speed, and he's so athletic and strong that he just absorbs that verticality and just puts the ball in. Like that should have been a foul. I don't know why they didn't call it. Another thing I like about Karim is he gets pretty low on his drives. Like you see, he doesn't really need to get that low, but he's definitely not a straight up and down driver at all. And you can see that through the rest of these offensive clips that he can get low and he can bend. He's actually pretty flexible, which is definitely a very, very good sign for his finishing at the NBA level. This is a great cut. I really like this cut right here. Really high feel guy. I don't feel like I've brought that up enough in this video. He's very high feel, high basketball IQ. He really, in the flow of the offense, makes the right play more often than not. And that's really good to see from, a 6'8" athlete kind of like this. Those players aren't usually known for being the most savvy decision makers, but off ball as a passer and overall just in the flow of the offense, he is a decently high feel guy at the moment. Like this is a really smart cut to see his guy going baseline, not really with many options, and he does this little curl cut to just give him the perfect window to throw it to him, and then of course just detonates at the rim with his athleticism right there. This is a great finish too, showing in transition he can really be a weapon. Yeah, like when he gets a full head of steam, it's really hard to slow this guy down. This behind the back is tough as fuck right here, where this guy slides over behind the back, loses him, gets the rim. This guy tries to take a charge, but he's still moving, goes up, absorbs this contact, stretches out, lays him right there. Really, really nice stuff right here. This is where he's also, I feel like, going to be pretty good in the NBA right away, is just going downhill in transition, making things happen. Like he is a weapon in transition, absolutely. And yeah, shit like this. He's always going to be good at shit like this, just turning the corner. Extremely explosive. The burst is crazy for a guy at 6'8", and the jumping too. But this, like you see, he's low. Like this is great for a 6'8" athlete like himself to be able to get this low, turn the corner, and then just explode on the rim right there. That is a really good sign. You're going to see it here again, just rejecting this screen really low right here. He gets lower than this defender who is way shorter than him and is able to drive. Again, look how low he gets. That is elite flexibility and driving ball handle. You see, he's actually pretty decent ball handler through these clips. Like he can dribble a little bit, not creation wise, but just in the flow of everything. And as a driver, he can dribble pretty well. And you see, yeah, he just gets insanely low on this clip for a 6'8" guy. This is absolutely special. right there. And he's able to just again detonate on the rim. Like, that guy coming over has no chance. You're gonna see this again here, just turning the corner off like a dribble handoff. I really hope that teams do this more with him in the NBA, because this is definitely a way that you can hide his offensive, you know, things that he's not the best at. Like, he can be a little bit of a issue to have on offense spacing wise at times, but this is a way that you can really use him in the offense, and not allow the defense to kind of just sit off of him, is just put him in these dribble handoff actions, just allow him to turn the corner, and he just builds up so much speed that defenders are never really able to fully recover. This is a nice layup right here too, just getting all the way to the rim, stretching out, getting a really good angle, showing his touch right there. I really like clips like this. This really makes me a believer that he can become more of an offensive type player, even though my main like skills that I'm buying into for him are him just being an absolutely elite defender. But on offense, he really shows some flashes. And yeah, you see that right here, just with that speed, that burst, and the handle's actually pretty good. He can make stuff like that happen. Another clip of this, look how low he gets right here. He gets extremely low, blowing by this defender. Really like, great that he just palms the ball right there and just goes up yams on this guy. That is really special to see again, with him just taking the space and then being able. This is very hard for bigger, longer players to really, keep the ball on a string in this situation. I see a lot of prospects who are these big, long, strong athletes that when they drive like this and they get low and they really explode downhill with the defender on their hip, they tend to lose the ball in this area, and he just doesn't at all. Takes one dribble, gets right into him, just palming the ball, running at the rim like Giannis, just yams on this guy's head. Really, really, really special stuff to see from a guy of his size. This is another great clip of him just driving in transition, gets downhill, again palms the ball like this, bends and stretches out and gets this nice layup off the glass right there. Just really, really good stuff to see. He definitely has those touch indicators. I guess I didn't really have many clips of in the cut up that I made for this video, but his left hand touch is actually pretty good. Oh wait, no, this is a left hand layup. He gets low right here. Again, gets pretty low. Bumps, gets to the rim. Yeah, this is a lefty layup. He has pretty decent touch with his left hand. And then to end the video, just a little bit of passing stuff. Said earlier, he is a pretty high field passer, and that's another really valuable thing for a guy like him and his archetype to bring. I'm not saying he's a hub or anything. He's definitely not. But he's a guy put in the right situation, maybe put in a pick and roll, putting, defenders collapsing in on him. He can make the right play. He can read the defense. Not the most, elite advanced reads or anything like that, but that's not really what he's going to be doing in the NBA. I don't expect him to be running pick and rolls like this or really being the main decision maker in the offense. I really just see him as an absolutely elite defender and then play finisher on the other end, transition weapon kind of guy. But he can do stuff like this, gets put in a dribble handoff right here, uses his threat at the rim to bring this rolling defender over, and then at the last second, really good manipulation here. He doesn't even look at this guy that's behind this defender, which freezes him and allows him to just flip this over this guy's head, get his guy an open layup right there. Really nice. This is just more of him just being a monster in transition, just him going downhill. And then because of his threat athletically, these guys have to build a wall. And yeah, he's just going to do a little Euro and then just dime up his man. Really nice pass, avoids the hands of the defender, gets his guy a layup. So yeah, I mean, it really is insane to see this guy play defense. Like, I wish there was more clips out there. I tried to find as many defensive clips as I could, and I couldn't find a lot. I saw a lot in games that I watched by him that he's just a transcendent defender. He's just insanely toolsy. And I really, really cannot see a world where this guy gets drafted and isn't one of the best defenders in the NBA in a couple years. Like, I wholeheartedly believe that he has that potential and that he will reach that potential. Like, he really has it all. I can't even think of many flaws for him defensively. Now, the offense, as I said, definitely a question, definitely needs to be worked on. But defensively, this guy, almost perfect across the board. He has like everything that I look for. He has every tool, and he's smart at the same time, and he's great off ball. And yeah, that's really why I feel like Kareem Lopez is going to be an absolutely elite defensive prospect in the NBA. But what do you guys think about Kareem Lopez? Do you think he has that type of potential? Are you not buyers because of his offensive skill? Do you don't think that the defense will be so good that it will outweigh that? I mean, I'm down to hear anything. Just please leave a comment. Tell me what you think about him. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you were interested in Kareem as a prospect, I feel like this is a good video for that. I feel like I informed a good amount about how I feel about him. Just a top 10 player in my opinion, just based off of that defensive stuff, and he's got some offensive potential. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, let me know what prospects you would like to see next. I'm pretty much going through most of the 2026 class. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and have a great day.